Impossibly Glamorous Studios presents Tea with Charles, starring Charles St. Anthony.
Serving it up from our studio in fabulous Los Angeles, California, welcome to the Tea with Charles podcast. This is your host, Charles St. Anthony. Here with me, the co-host for today, is our fan favorite, Dorrie.
So I gotta ask Charles, where have you been? I thought maybe the tea had just kind of dried up and it wasn't there, and maybe you went to China for it. I don't know.
It was a famine. It was the desolation of tea.
The famine of 2020.
The famine of 2020. No, actually, I have been extremely busy. I released my last podcast, I guess, last September. And in the meantime, for fun, I do a lot of TV work, extra work. I was on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm called Beat Panic, the last season. I was also on The L Word. So I'm a famous lesbian now.
So you're saying that I know a celebrity? Can I get an autograph? Because I'm kind of broke.
It's an enormous stretch to call me a celebrity, but if in a couple blink and you miss it spots on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I'm also on, Family Reunion on Netflix. I'm a soccer parent. Yeah, my housemate told me I look like a serial killer because my head was shaved.
But you moved up to Netflix. Look at you. You are just going, sir.
Yeah, so all the haters can suck it because I'm on Netflix and they're just basic cable. All right, Dorrie, how have you occupied yourself during the pandemic? Have you been chilling, or did you get anything done on your honey-do list?
I cleaned a ceiling fan. And for those of y'all that have never cleaned a ceiling fan, there's a lot of dust. So I wore a mask inside of my house for no reason other than dust. There was no corona in my house. I just didn't want to get sick.
Fighting the Rona at Dorrie's place.
Pretty much. The dust bunny Ronas.
The dust bunny Ronas. Yeah, I've done painting. I've done a lot of. I've been very productive. And since the gym I went to shut down, I was like, I am not getting fat again because as you know, I go up and down in weight a lot. And so I took up jogging. I've been using an app called Runkeeper.
How's that going for you?
It is kicking my ass, but I'm getting very sunburnt.
I was trying to figure out why you're so red. I thought maybe I was sitting across from a tomato. I don't.
Yeah, I'm going for rock lobster is my new look. Are you ready for some hot topic, Dorrie?
I'm always ready for it. Bring it.
Pour yourself some tea and let's dive into these hot topics.
So, Dorrie, we have an article here on the future of transportation from Forbes magazine. Electric vehicle sales are surging. And some takeaways I got from this article is that the Tesla Model 3 is the best-selling vehicle in the UK. That's including gasoline and everything. Sales of gasoline and diesel vehicles decreased in every market, including the US, Europe, and China. And gasoline-powered cars will be illegal to sell in Paris, Los Angeles, and certain countries like the Netherlands by 2030. And I wanted to lead with this article about electric cars because, as you know, Dorrie, I am the proud owner of an electric vehicle.
Renato.
Yes, I named my electric car Renato, and people don't know this, but Dorrie and I carpool a bit together.
Renato is a sexy bitch.
Like venturing into electric vehicles, this is new territory for me. I chose a compact car. Some of those Teslas are bigger.
Oh, I want a Tesla.
Well, save your ducats, honey. You can have a Tesla. Get that overtime.
No, I mean, I like riding in the car. It's cute. Renato is very cute. It's efficient. You can see, like, I think the funniest thing about your car is that you can see how fast what is it? The mileage, like the speed.
Yeah.
The odometer is huge.
It's very huge.
It's very huge. You're never going to miss how fast you're going.
It's a big display.
Yeah.
My thing about the electric cars is it sounds silly, but I was like, oh yeah, I don't need gasoline anymore. And I'm like, where do I get the energy for my car? Because the place that I'm living right now, I can't really install a home charger.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out at my work, they had a charger that I can use for free for a certain amount of time. And I'm like, that's great. There's even a charger at this building here that we're recording this podcast studio.
So when you get home, how do you just not charge it? Is it like, it's a hybrid, right? Like it's gas and electric?
No, it is only electric.
Oh, it's only electric. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was gas and oh, that's interesting.
No, I just wait to charge it at work every day.
Okay.
And there's an app that I can look up all the charging spots in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier than I was anticipating.
So how long do you have to charge your car? Like, say you drive from your job to your house. That's what, 16 miles?
I drive about 40 a day.
So it holds about a 40 mile charge?
So one charge goes for 250 miles.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe I should get an electric car.
Maybe you should invest.
Wow, that's not bad.
Maybe you should get an electric car, because what's more is that I get a check from the government. I'm getting a rebate, like, in the mail.
You get money from Donald Trump.
We're going to say Sacramento, okay? Just to be...
Because he doesn't give money away for free. He makes you pay for it.
I'm thrilled at my electric car. Everybody, stop driving gasoline. Go out and get electric. If you think about where your money is going each time you buy gas, you would be aghast.
Ooh, big words. Aghast.
So, catching everyone up to speed on this season of Drag Race, there was a scandal of Sherry Pie. Before each season, they have something called the Meet the Queens videos. And I was like, oh, she's hilarious. I think she's going to win this season. But no, unfortunately, Sherry Pie got disqualified before the season even started because she enjoyed catfishing up-and-coming actors by masquerading as a fictitious casting agent called Allison Mossy. And it was just a little too perverted and weird. So they deep sixed Sherry Pie. What do you think about this Sherry Pie?
I mean, they deep sixed her and she was deep throating.
She didn't deep throat anybody. In the end, she didn't get to hook up with any of the guys.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. My virgin ears are bleeding.
Well, I mean, she was trying to,
She wanted to get these guys that were out of her
Oh,
league.
she wanted to get these guys all right, and she got some of them, I'm sure.
She got them to send her emails.
Nudes?
So they would be sending her these nude photos, and she would be like emailing them like, oh, I'm Allison Mossy, and you're going to get this great role on Broadway if you just take your shirt off and take some steroids. She was making them take steroids. And
how stupid do you have to be to take steroids
for a fictitious casting agent that a drag queen introduced you to?
Okay, but my question is, like, did the person that she made take the steroids, did they actually meet up, or was everything still online? Was it still...
These were people she knew from her real life.
Wow.
So she would be like, hey, Jake, there's this show on Broadway that's casting, and I know the agent. And she would pretend to introduce them to this Allison Mossy fake casting agent.
Uh-huh. Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. And these men were strung along for months, and like a couple of them were strung along for years, like emailing Allison Mossy and sending her videos of them like with their shirts off. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to victim blame, but it's extremely thirsty that I don't know.
Yeah, listen, you gotta do things to go far in Hollywood. So I mean,
well, this is Broadway.
Stepping Stone, Broadway to Hollywood, casting couch, Deep Throat, Deep Six, Deep Nine.
And the thing is, season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race is always going to be known now as the Sherry Pie season, which is kind of unfortunate. And, now she's not just famous, she's notorious, which is kind of better in some cases.
I think she should just get her own spinoff.
I think she should become a porn director, like Chi Chi LaRue. It's a drag queen that...
yeah, I've heard of her.
You've heard of Chi Chi?
I've heard of Chi Chi.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be a filthy dick pig, at least just own it.
She could do one with Ron Jeremy. That should be interesting.
Indeed. So we made it all the way to the finale. All the drag queens were lip syncing from their houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed you the 3 finalists because you haven't been watching the season.
Nope. Right.
So our finalists were Gigi Good, a 22-year-old from here in LA, Jada Essence Hall, a Milwaukee queen with glamour to spare, and Crystal Method, a Missouri queen, like myself, with a flowing El DeBarge mullet. And RuPaul was hot for that mullet this whole season.
Out of these three,
Yeah.
I think that the Method chick won.
Why do you think Crystal Method won?
She had a lot of makeup. I was going for Jada.
When is the last time you wore makeup?
6th grade. Maybe 7th.
Well, Crystal, she had she did an incredible production in her home because, like I said, they did the lip syncs from home on Zoom or whatever for the finale.
Right.
And Crystal Method did the song I'm Like a Bird by Nelly Furtado.
Wow.
Where she did drag as a bird and she regurgitated into her own mouth.
Oh, that's okay.
It was kind of incredible. Do you remember the video Take on Me by Aha?
Okay. You can't be an 80s child if you don't remember that iconic video.
Yeah, that animation.
That is a great video. I love that video.
I mean, Gigi Goode did an amazing job. If you haven't seen the finale yet, go watch it, pause the podcast. But
spoilers.
The winner of season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race was Jada Essence Hall. Congratulations to Jada.
I love her. Her boobs were great. Her boobs were amazing. I'm a boob girl. Her boobs were amazing. Her voice was sexy.
Jada, and the final lip sync to Beyonce was kind of incredible.
What was it, Single Ladies?
It was Survivor.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it kind of worked because there was 3 of them and they were doing Survivor. And Jada Essence Hall turns out to be the Beyonce to the Michelle and Kelly of Gigi and Crystal.
Well, I feel like, I liked her better than, what was the one that had the flat chest? Out of the 3?
Gigi?
Was it Gigi? Yeah, I wasn't feeling Gigi was just boring to me. I saw Lana Del Rey when I saw Gigi, and I don't like Lana Del Rey. I think she's boring.
Okay.
So I was definitely going for Jada.
Okay. Well, I watched the whole season, and personally, I can appreciate Gigi's art, but in this case, Jada was the right winner. She was flawless throughout the whole season. She won multiple challenges.
I like Crystal's makeup. She reminded me of who was the drag queen in the 80s that was in a bunch of movies?
Divine?
Yes, I like Divine. Divine was wonderful.
Divine looks like she could eat Crystal Method.
Divine has passed away. Don't be disrespectful to Divine.
May she rest in peace.
Gosh.
Rest in power, Divine. Dorrie, I got dragged on social media by all my friends back in like January where I was like, I think Biden is going to pick Amy Klobuchar for his VP just because in the scheme of the Electoral College, it makes sense. He needs Minnesota and those Midwestern states. She's a senator from Minnesota. Like, logically speaking, I thought she was the best choice. Who do you think is going to be the VP pick?
Michelle Obama.
Really?
No, I don't think that. I think that people want Michelle Obama, but I mean, I don't know at this point. The way that I see it is who do I think would be the best one? I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, Warren would be good. Kamala would be a good AG, but I don't know.
Well, the thing people keep bringing up time and time again is that they want some form of representation for people of color in the VP pick. And, Amy Klobuchar just represents same old in that respect.
Well, the problem with people in Kamala Harris is that she was a prosecutor, so people call her a quote unquote cop. And I just think that that's not the smartest thing because, I mean, she had a job and that was the job she chose. And if they want people of color, she's the person of color on the ticket. So
Kamala Harris?
Yes, sir.
I guess the biggest issue with Kamala Harris is that California is kind of like, it's almost a given. There's like almost no way that California would go Republican for this election. And picking someone from California, it's not going to win Biden any of those swing states that he needs, like Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, Ohio.
Well, she also doesn't have the, she doesn't have the spunk to get it. Like, she's not an Obama, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, a VP, you want somebody that can go to all the people. I don't know that she can do it.
Wouldn't it be wild if Joe Biden chose Obama to be his VP?
Oh my gosh. The
face crack of the century.
My God. I mean, if he could do it, he probably would, but he can't. So, like, I think people would love Michelle to run, but she does not want to run.
Why do you think Michelle doesn't want to run?
She doesn't like the politics, and it gets very racist. I watched Becoming, and she talked about how hurtful it was, how much she had to censor herself, how she learned how racist people could be. She doesn't like it.
That it would wear you down.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And Becoming's the documentary about Michelle Obama on Netflix, correct?
It is, yes. It's very, very, very good. That she's really strong and that she has a passion for young people, and she really wants to help young people, and she wants them to succeed. She wants them to be the generation that gets things done in this country, and that she's really sad that the country has gone backwards in a lot of aspects.
And now for some news that's truly important.
So I was looking at my family tree of my relatives, and I realized a great many of them were born just after the Spanish influenza. Many of them have passed on, of course. That got me thinking, are we going to have a Rona baby boom? Is it the coronavirus baby boom?
Yes. I mean, at some point, you're going to stop watching Netflix. You're going to want to have sex.
You're going to be like, I'm not watching all of Hollywood by Ryan Murphy. Let's get it on.
Let's do it, baby. Can you imagine the names that are going to come out? Like, there's already twins somewhere that have...
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Rona and COVID? Corona and COVID?
We're going to name our twins Ronita and Vito. I don't know. But I was checking out an article by the Rolling Stone, and it suggests no. They're saying there's an uptick in birth control. With the stress of balancing work with homeschooling and childcare is leading people to rethinking having a baby at the moment.
I'm a lesbian, so that just takes that right on out. I don't have to worry about birth control.
You could go to a sperm bank.
Gross. That's just gross. Ugh. Oh my God.
Well, you know what I think about the Rolling Stone? I think the Rolling Stone's full of shit. I think there's going to be a Rona baby boom. Every time I turn on Grindr, now that quarantine is lightening up, it is lit. I am getting pinged like left and right and center. People are getting it on at the moment.
So have you had any quarantine hookups, sir? Should I call the government and tell them that you're, he's had it. He's looking at me like, please stop talking about my sex life. Yeah.
I mean, I have been social distancing.
So you've had socially distant hookups? How does that even work?
I left the mask on, okay.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, as long as you leave the mask on, did you touch them though? What is it like?
I mean, we had the gloves, we had the mask. we can work with that.
What about plastic? Like, did you have plastic between you? You know how like you get in an Uber?
You can make a glory hole that way.
Oh.
With the plexiglass. That's how this, because my friends and I were talking about how are the sex clubs going to open back up?
That is going to be interesting.
It's like, when can they open up? Because I have a feeling that a sex club is a little bit more dangerous than, I don't know, a restaurant or whatever.
You know, I think actually BDSM clubs have a better chance of opening because then you can play with the latex. You can get all the doms that wear the latex.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's coming up on the coronavirus. We're going to have like a latex boom.
Wow, that'll be... Britney Spears is going to love it.
All right. It's official. We're going to have a Rona baby boom. And I was researching right now, the most popular baby girl names in 2020 are number 3, Ava, number 2, Emma, and number 1, Olivia. While for the boys, it's number 3, Elijah, number 2, Liam, and number 1, Noah. And I just noticed there's a popularity in O starting names because Oliver was in the top 10 too. So we're going to have a lot of Olivias and Olivers. And I think there's going to be a significant drop in babies being named Karen and Sherry.
What's wrong with Karen and Sherry?
Come on. There's actually a site. Isn't there a subreddit that's called Fuck You, Karen.
There's also an Instagram page called Karen's what is it? Karen's Going Wild that I follow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What memes have you seen on there?
There's this one that, like, have you ever played any video games, like, on a PS4?
I've played it, some.
Have you played any recent Resident Evil games?
No.
Okay, so it's
a shooting game, right?
Yeah, so there's a recent Resident Evil game where, like, it's based in a house and it's based around a family, and, like, the mother looks crazy, and there's this one Karen that, like, I don't know if you've seen the video where she goes up to an Uber passenger side, she's cursing at the passenger, and the Uber driver's trying to get her away, and she looks like, every time I see her, I think of, like, the mother in the video game, and she looks just like her, and it freaks me out, and I have to, like, turn the video.
My favorite Karen meme, there's a Karen that's a fake movie poster, and it has this woman.
Oh, I've seen that one.
It has a woman holding a gun, and she says, the movie's name is Karen. She's here for the manager, and she's done waiting. But I have to say, like, since the name Karen has become the name that people of color use to make fun of white ladies now, the Beckys of the world are heaving a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, the heat is off the Beckys. It's now Karen's time.
I know a Becky, so I'm pretty sure she's happy.
I have two cousins named Becky.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how white I am. I have two cousins named Becky on the same side of the family, no less.
That's true. I have a gay uncle named Bob, so shout out to Bob.
You know what has changed since the coronavirus pandemic started? Just about everything. Some processes in society that had started are picking up steam. Some businesses that were struggling are gone for good. So we brainstormed a list. Drum roll, please. Countdown of things that have changed for good because of the pandemic. All right, so Dorrie, you do the even numbers, I'll do the odds. Coming in at number 10.
Contactless payments like Google and Apple Pay. It seems like people are not going to want to use machines or cash these days.
Number 9, we're moving away from office culture. A lot of these work from home assignments are now going to be permanent.
That's going to be interesting. At number 8, we have, looks like it's going to be Hulu and Netflix are going to be the place to watch movies these days, which will be cheaper because I can go see a movie for less than $15.
You don't want to pay $20 for a little thing of popcorn?
I really don't want to pay $20, and Oscars will be interesting, so.
Number 7, drive-in movie theaters make a big comeback because people get sick of sitting around on their sofas at some point.
And coming in at 6, there will not be handshakes. In fact, we met our engineer today, and first thing out of his mouth, are we shaking hands?
We're like, what's up, Nolan? Don't touch me.
No, I'm gonna bow bump you, buddy. Here, have a bow bump.
Yeah, the elbow bump is officially called the bow bump. You heard it here first on Tea with Charles. It's no longer elbow bump, it's the bow bump. Number 5, people are going to take up outdoors jogging like I have.
Coming in at 4, Postmates and Uber Eats will be the new foodie culture, and people will not go to restaurants as much.
Number 3, the 2020s is going to be the decade of the Rona mop, or the Rona shag. It's a hairstyle name. It'll be a decade of big hairstyles for both men and women.
Coming in at number 2, family reunions will be on Zoom, and let me tell you how happy I am. I don't have to eat somebody's food that says, oh, I can cook macaroni and cheese, and they destroy it.
You don't want the mystery potato salad?
I really don't want people's food that they just cannot cook. I'm good.
And number 1, in 15 or 20 years, an entire generation with a fetish for face masks will be getting married. Ta-da. So going back over some of these points here, at number 10, we had contactless payments like Google Pay and Apple Pay.
Right.
And before, they kind of didn't take off, right?
No, they didn't take off, and now it's going to be like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. It's going to be interesting to see how that takes off because people are paranoid about touching like money and touching machines, and people are gross. They don't wash their hands.
At times, Apple Pay, it felt like they were trying to make fetch happen. It's like, stop trying to make Apple Pay happen. It's never going to happen. Well, now it's happened.
They came out with the Apple Card, so that happened.
I know, but these Google Pay and Apple Pay and Samsung Pay or whatever, they need to stop making me touch my fucking code. Okay. I don't want to touch that keypad. If we are really going to not touch and not spread the virus, I don't want cash back. Don't ask me shit. Just let me put my phone over it and let me go.
So wait, even with Apple Pay, you still have to touch the keypad at the store?
When I pay with Google Pay at 7-Eleven, say, like, I still have to touch the keypad to say I don't want cash back, and I have to put in my ATM code.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That should just get rid of just get rid of that.
Just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it.
No more keypads. The keypads of death. Talking about different hairstyles, 2020s is going to be the decade of the Rona mop. Rona shag.
So are you going to have a Rona mop?
Hell no.
Come on, Charles. Can I just say that I saw him with his shag do and he looked like a boy band dream.
Yeah. But the Rona shag, it's going to be like the Rachel for the 2020s. Or the Beehive. You know, I think I'm waiting for hair to get big, like in the 80s. In the 80s,
I remember. Yes, I remember the big hair.
Did you have like a side tail?
No, Charles. I wanted a ducktail. I couldn't get it though. My mom wouldn't let me. I couldn't come out.
That is too funny. And I really do think that like face mask fetish is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be so interesting because a lot of people are gonna have Venom face masks. You know the character Venom.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a lot of those. Which that and like Joker.
But now that people aren't going to the movie theater and just streaming everything, I'm just wondering how the Oscars are going to happen. Because before they were kind of fighting, you would have to release your movie in the movie theater for like 2 days if you were going to do a Netflix release. Like there were some movies that were nominated for Oscars that way that didn't really get a wide release, but they just put it in the movie theaters for long enough.
But then how are you going to have an Oscars when you can't have a crowd larger than 50?
Well, it can go back. Did you ever see like footage of the Oscars from like the 30s? And it's like, it's so different because people will just like get their award and they're like, thanks, I won my Oscar. And then they like leave. It's none of this political shit. It's
it's like the pre-Oscars when they announce who the winners are.
Something like that. It was very bare bones. And I'm like, all right, that's what we're going to have again. It's not going to be all this bullshit with, you know, the big red carpet and talking about Angelina Jolie's dress or whatever.
Actually, that might be kind of good. I don't want to talk about Angelina Jolie's dress anymore. I'm good.
Really?
I'm good.
I want to talk about it.
She's still getting dressed up, or
sure.
I want to know who she's dating. Is she dating a woman again? Can we go back to that?
Go back to the Jenny Shimizu era?
Jenny is hot. Jenny is hot. We need to go back to that era. I don't need her with a man. She needs to get back with program. Come on, Angelina. If you're listening, please, ma'am, can you date a woman? Thanks.
I don't know how we got from coronavirus face mask to Angelina Jolie's lesbian affair from 1999, but, you know, that's a good segue. People, this is what we call broadcasting. This week, I have a special ending for you all. In the last year, I've released 3 audiobooks. During quarantine, I made them free on Barnes & Noble Nook Audiobooks, so people could have something fun to listen to while sheltering in place. Here, for your listening pleasure, is Chapter 1 of DTLA Hustler by Charles St. Anthony, available on Audible, Nook Audiobooks, or wherever you enjoy your audiobooks.
Impossibly Glamorous Studios presents
DTLA Hustler. Lose weight and make money as a Postmates courier by Charles St. Anthony. Walking in LA. I'm in a complicated relationship with the city of Los Angeles. I value getting around on foot, so as an adult I had chosen to live in walkable cities such as New York City and San Francisco. I like to walk because it's better for the environment. I also walk for vanity reasons. When I take mass transit, I tend to be 1 or 2 sizes smaller than when chained to an automobile. Most Angelenos believe a car is necessary for daily life. I experienced Southern California's car dependent firsthand years ago while visiting Costa Mesa. That's a suburb in Orange County. I set out to meet a friend in West Hollywood by bus. The trek from Costa Mesa to WeHo took 6 hours via transit, when it only takes an hour and change by car. Fast forward to the 2010s, and I felt Los Angeles pulling me into her orbit. San Francisco, where I was living, became too much of a struggle. I worked full-time for years with nothing to show for it. In contrast, each visit I made to LA convinced me that Los Angeles now housed the epicenter of the creative class in the United States. LA had beaches. LA had swag. LA had Lisa Vanderpump. Logic sat on my shoulder and said, "What are you thinking? Los Angeles is the city of 3Ds, dirty, dangerous, and difficult to get around." Logic whispered in my ear that these thoughts were a pipe dream, an alluring mirage masking the reality of a city populated with jaded tryhards clinging to shattered dreams. Intuition told me to ignore this voice. Something waited for me in Hollywood. Logic and intuition played a tug-of-war in my brain until intuition won. I decided to move to Los Angeles. After my contract job ended at a major Silicon Valley company, I drove for Uber to save to move to LA. One night, a drunk driver T-boned the rear driver's side of my car in Silicon Valley. Along with multi-level spinal strain and the possibility of early onset arthritis, the trauma of the accident heightened my anxiety. Driving a motor vehicle became an activity that made me neurotically shake and sweat. I didn't want to drive anymore. How would I survive in a metropolis notoriously unwelcoming to pedestrians? I discovered with some online research that a growing number of Angelenos were abandoning car ownership. These people avoided traffic jams and parking nightmares by choosing to get around with a combination of Uber and the metro. Los Angeles has several highly walkable neighborhoods, but I believe downtown, or DTLA, has the largest number of people who choose not to own cars. It is all part of a rejuvenation of the city center. Galleries and eateries have mushroomed throughout downtown, sparking a modern renaissance. An area which had until recently been emblematic of urban blight now pulsed with energy. The Arts District and Koreatown flank DTLA to the east and west, respectively. People debate the boundaries of DTLA, but the area is either surrounded by or contains the Fashion District, Skid Row, Chinatown, and the University of Southern California, or USC. The Armani suits of the financial district contrast glaringly with the destitute homeless from the tent city in Skid Row. Downtown LA reminds me of New York's East Village in the 90s, but DTLA possesses its own distinct vibe. The proximity to Hollywood, the legal weed shops, the food fusion culture, and the vibrant nightlife all meld to make the core of Los Angeles unique and exciting, a city center with a Southern California edge. At times it feels a little too edgy. Behemoth rats sashay down the sidewalks like it's their rodent runway. Leviathan cockroaches will scamper out and tell you their plans to go on tour once it's just Cher and the roaches left. And as much as I love DTLA, I admit if you catch the wrong wind near Skid Row, whew, the aroma is foul enough to make a girl woozy. Ooh. With the modest settlement my attorney won me from the car accident in Silicon Valley, I booked 3 nights at an Airbnb on Pico Boulevard near Staples Center in LA. While traipsing about the first day, I came across the glitzy grandeur of the LA Live Entertainment District. LA Live has multiple giant screens and houses the Grammy Museum and the Ritz-Carlton. The bustling art scene of DTLA enchanted me. "This is fantastic," I said out loud before a group of party girls asked me to snap their photo by a Korean-Mexican fusion taco truck. The next day, I lunched at a revolving sushi bar in Little Tokyo while planning how to stake my claim in the City of Angels. Using the online tools at my disposal, I went out in search of my first room. I jumped with excitement when the place became available in Hollywood. As in the actual physical place Hollywood, not the idea of quote-unquote Hollywood. Even if it wasn't downtown, I could make an exception for Hollywood. I went to check out the first candidate room. Garbage decorated the ground outside the apartment complex off a dingy side street near the eastern stretch of Santa Monica Boulevard. This is Hollywood? I had anticipated more eleganza. The Russian woman who owned the condo showed me the space while puffing on a Virginia Slim. "You'll be sharing this room," she said as she opened the door. You didn't advertise this was a bunk buddy situation," I thought while walking in the door. Already inside the room was a Turkish man with his sons. The 2 Turkish boys looked up at me quizzically as I thought, "No thank you, Svetlana." The next place I visited was in Boyle Heights, a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood in East LA near downtown. After checking out the house, I saw the neighbor who was a burly Latino man listening to rap on the porch next to his house. A tuft of chest hair cascaded out of his wife beater. He snarled at me, "What are you looking at?" The road? I'm just looking forward," was what I thought. I decided not to move to Boyle Heights. Finally, I settled on a place off First Street. Still in East LA, the area felt much less sinister than the previous two. My room off First Street was both cheaper and more spacious than the one I had in San Francisco. Now that I had a place in LA, I just needed to make a living. How hard could it be? So that was chapter 1 of my audiobook, DTLA Hustler. Check it out online. That's all the time we have for this edition of Tea with Charles. You can find my co-host Dorrie online at her Instagram handle, Linda's Kid. That's Linda's Kid. You can catch me on social media at KingCharles0921. That's at KingCharles0921. You can check out my books at my website, dtlahustler.com. Yes, honey, at dtlahustler.com. The library is officially open. And I want people to read me, like actually read it in the Hooked on Phonics sense. Do not read me in the Paris is Burning sense. That would be very rude. And after you've read me, leave me your honest review at your favorite online retailer. Okay. Anyway, that's all the time we have for this episode of Tea with Charles. Drive electric, get some solar panels, and keep on hustling.
Ta-ta for now.